Hello folks, Kaz here from blockheadUK. Next we come to triangles, something completely different. On the left here we have Pythagoras Place, which has been made basically by using some triangular shaped roof pieces and then stacking bricks at an angle to get this diagonal wall here. So that gives you a nice Pythagorean triangle, equal sides at the back and then a slightly longer side at the front. Meanwhile, Bermuda House on the right is an equilateral triangle, and this is based on something like this. We have 3 long plates and 3 hinge pieces, attach them together in a line and then fold them up and bring that one round, and there you have your equilateral triangle. Now in this case I built up layers of brick around this and then put another couple of layers of this kind of structure to keep everything together. So here you can see there's a hinge point there and a hinge point there, but they're the only 2 pieces where you needed to make up this kind of triangle. The rest is just effectively a solid wall, and it's held together by just those 2 hinges at top and bottom. One thing I did learn from this though was trying to put a roof on this kind of triangular building is pretty tricky, and in the end I kind of did a little bit of a bodge with a few gaps, but it kind of worked out. So there we have equilateral triangles. A slightly different use for the triangular theme. On the left hand side here is Tricorn House, and basically that is put together by having one of those equilateral triangles again in the middle here, but instead of building just around the walls, I've used the triangle position to then build plates outwards, plates and bricks, to give me 3 arms of a building, and that gives everything at 120 degrees, which works out rather nicely. And more recently I've used a similar technique with 120 degree angles to give Octagon House, but in this case it was achieved by using the Octagon piece, which you can just about see at the top here. This is in the form of a triangle already, and you've covered it with plates here. Let's see if we can take anything else off so you can see a little bit better. So basically it's only really the top part there and a few bricks underneath which are holding this bit together to give that arm to come out, but that's a hexagonal shaped plate called an hexagon from the Nexonite series, which is quite an interesting piece to use. Some even trickier shapes to achieve with Lego are circles. 2 techniques here which can come in very useful for Micropolis. Firstly, this one, Arabica Tower, is built round 16 columns of 1x2 bricks, and each column is joined by a hinge plate. So basically each of those grey sections down there would be one of those. Basically there's 2 levels of hinges here, and then quite a lot of just normal plates, and another 2 levels of hinges right at the top to keep the whole structure structurally sound all the way up. It's very expensive in terms of hinges to do that on every single level, but it certainly would make it stronger. Unfortunately this one ends up a little bit crushed sometimes when I take it to shows, but it's not very difficult to put back together again. And on the right here we see the Rotunda concert hall, which is built with a different technique altogether. You can either use bricks or plates, it doesn't matter, but you alternate between a 1x2 brick and a round brick, or a 1x2 plate and a round stud. And on every level you gradually offset them and stack them round. It's not very stable when you've only got a few levels, but with all of these at the top here, there's a good strong lock between each of the pieces, and you end up with an interesting shape there. Once again, round tops are quite difficult to put roofs on. This is why I kind of cheated a little bit and ended up with an imaginary retractable roof that didn't actually cover the whole thing. Whereas with the tower on the left, I don't know if you can see this very well, but basically I've made the roof with some of those very large curved corner pieces and then a dome on top, which seemed to work out quite well. So 2 techniques there for making cylinders and circles, which give you even more interest. These 2 are cylinders of a sort, but a little bit more jagged in nature, if you like. On the left we see dimension heights, which is basically built around a square core. Let's take it off its plate there. A square core with circular top and bottom. But if we take this off the top, we see that the walls inside are pretty much just straight up, and then there are a couple of plates which sit on the side here. As you can see, there's some snot bricks, stud snot on the side bricks here, and then the plates which sit on the front to give it its almost curved shape. So that's basically been put together with several long 2x10 plates in this case, stacked in the middle, and then that whole thing literally just attaches to the side like that. Bit wobbly when it's not sitting on its proper base. And this one is an octagon shape. Once again, something that's a bit more interesting than just a square box, and it's built with putting plates on again to a sort of inner core. In this case it's a bit more tricky because the studs are on the inside, not the outside, as I wanted to use these colourful boat studs to make some stained glass windows. So I've had to build the core there such that the studs on the inside of this plate will fit into these pieces here. The final shape we're going to look at are pentagons. This block itself is called the pentagons for obvious reasons, and we've got 5 different blocks all built with the same shape. How did this happen? Well, we take the circular roof off, you can see inside, and basically it's built with mixel ball joints that go around here. There's a flat plate which sits on the front like this, and this is a mixel ball joint with a socket at one end and a ball at the other, and you put 5 of those together to form a ring shape, and then attach 2 of those rings together with these plates to give you your pentagonal shape. There's just a little bit of a bracket underneath there, which is what the thing mounts to on the floor of the block. So pentagonal shapes are equally possible. You could make larger shapes with this if you wanted to, but I thought a pentagon was quite fun, and that's what I was going to use. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at different shapes and creative ways that you can use bricks to make things that aren't just square block boxes. And if you've got any questions, please ask in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you can see new content when it is released.